From the title of this video, most would be confused and ask, how could Gojo beat Sukuna when he's already lost? Well, to be honest, I don't think it's that hard, especially when we're talking about Sukuna with no 10 shadows. However, don't fright, we'll be taking current Heian era Sukuna, just without the abilities and knowledge Mahoraga gave him. See, in chapter 236, Sukuna basically tells us during the fight, he was waiting for Mahoraga to give him a proper adaptation. As it says right here, the first time that Mahoraga adapted to your infinity, it transmitted its own curse energy in order to neutralize and nullify your infinity. That was something I could not do. I waited until I could obtain an adaptation that would match your infinity. The second adaptation proceeded as I hoped. That wasn't meant to be a slash like the ones I launched. That was an extension of curse technique targets. Its target was not Satoru Gojo. It extended all the way to the space in existence in the world themselves, so as to cut them. Which meaning without Mahoraga, Sukuna would have never gotten to catch Gojo off guard with his attack due to his not being able to bypass the infinity. Now anyone could say domain amplification, however Gojo has accounted to this over time, stated in chapter 85 when he fought Hanami. You sure about that? If you try to neutralize my technique with your amplification, then I'll counter by strengthening my curse technique. This is useless. So basically it becomes useless at a certain point. Now when it comes to domain expansion, they are equal, but Sukuna has a slight advantage due to it not having a barrier casting. However, within these domain clashes, Gojo being the top tier GOAT that he is, pops a simple domain in chapter 225 and 226. And Sukuna and Gojo go hand in hand from that point on, with Gojo being slightly better and controlling in the fight, even knocking Sukuna unconscious. Now it's never stated that Sukuna in Heian era gains any strength amps, but besides growing limbs. But it doesn't mean it increases his chances of beating Gojo in hand-to-hand combat, especially since we have no proof or evidence of that. We don't know how strong Heian era Sukuna actually is in terms of raw strength, and we can't assume that he is stronger than Gojo. Now as for the rest of Sukuna's abilities, they are mostly undiscovered, and we have no idea if they can bypass infinity or not, so why would we assume? It doesn't really make sense, does it? I do have Gojo winning this due to his infinity and most of Sukuna's abilities not being able to harm Gojo or damage Gojo at this point. Now what I've been seeing going around is people stating that Gojo said himself he wouldn't even be able to beat Sukuna even if he didn't have Megumi's technique. However, that's not directly what he stated. In chapter 236, he says directly that he didn't know if he could have one. Sukuna's statement right after confirming that he indeed wanted and needed Mahoraga to bypass the infinity is enough to show without it, he would have not lasted against Gojo's final attack or far before that. In chapter 229 and 230, when Mahoraga saved him from Infinite Void, he would have never escaped it without him. He practically used him as a bulletproof vest. So in all, I have Gojo beating Sukuna pretty easily. But let me know what you think in the comments, like and subscribe for more, and I hope you enjoyed.